I got a lot done on the car and got it tuned up pretty good for tomorrow's race day. There's a quarter-mile drag race event that I'm going to tomorrow, and the car should be pretty dialed in. I had an issue the last time I went to the track. I went from 15 pounds of boost to 20, and it only picked up 1 mile an hour, which it should have picked up way more than that. And I think it was because a mix of things with the vacuum leak that I had, as well as the tune got super rich as soon as I went up to like 21 pounds of boost. And I actually just went through and I retuned the map, so it runs like an 11.5 air-fuel ratio at 21 pounds of boost, because like I said before, at 21 pounds it was literally smoking. It was so rich, it was coughing on fuel. So got that all sorted out, and we're going to take this thing to the track tomorrow, so definitely stay tuned for that video coming. How's it going today, everybody? I'm actually doing some work on the Mustang again, and I cleaned up my interior quite a bit on the car. It looks way nicer now. I made a custom gauge holder for my wideband and boost gauge there out of a for sale sign. So I took this for sale sign, or one just like it, which is like a really thin piece of tin, and I took the back of the gauge cluster, or like the bezel that goes around the gauge cluster, and I JB welded it to kind of like the outside where the cluster normally would go, and just trimmed it to fit in the slot there. And then I painted it gray. It did not turn out, the paint didn't stick. I know that looks like shit, but this looks way nicer than it did. And I also put like these panels on, and the panel down here back on, and there's a panel over there that was missing, so I definitely cleaned up the interior quite a bit. So ever since I put the new intake manifold gaskets in and I fixed the vacuum leaks on the car, it has not wanted to idle at all. So to fix the issue here, the car doesn't have an idle air control valve, and it's capped shut. So the only way to adjust the throttle now is to either make a vacuum leak and put like a solenoid in there, and then you can control it with the micro squirt to open and close it as the car warms up, or you can do it the janky way like I'm doing it here. There is a throttle stop screw on the factory truck throttle body here, and this screw pretty much sets where how far open the throttle plate is. So what I did is I took my welder and I put a little bit of weld onto the end of the stop screw, because you can only put it in so far before it bottoms out and won't go up any higher. So I put some weld on there, and now I'm going to throw it back on the car and see how high it idles, and then file the weld down until it idles where I want it to. No fucking way. It's idling first try. So one tack is good, I guess. It's idling right around 1,000 right now. Yeah, just one tack on the end of that throttle stop seems to do the trick. I'll put it neutral. It's like 1100, I guess. Might be a little high, but not terrible. Especially for just throwing a tack on it. That is awesome that it's idling this good. See how it and send it. I got a message from a guy on YouTube, or he found me from YouTube, and he actually asked me if I could help him out on his tune for his turbocharged truck. So he sent me the file, and I'm just looking it over, and it's a 80-pound injector tune with a 2-bar map sensor. So I initially opened the tune up here, and I'll go to the computer screen here. And under engine, and then you can see here the map sensor reads 200 kPa, so that's right. And then you go to the primary VE table, which is your fuel, your main fuel table, and it only says 105 here, which means that this ECU is not actually set up for a 2-bar map sensor. The real way to change it to a 2-bar map sensor is to go to the operating system here, and you change it to speed density 2-bar or 3-bar, whether you have a 3-bar map sensor or a 2-bar. So we would apply the code modification here, and then to complete it you have to do all the stuff here to save it, and then write entire the next time you write it. So I just got done helping this guy that I met off of YouTube remote tune his turboed Silverado, and I kind of just helped him out along the way. So I kind of just guided him through the tuning process and what to do and what to change and everything like that. The only reason I did that is because I could not actually change anything on his tune and save it because I didn't actually have the credits for his file. So what I ended up doing to help him out is just kind of talk to him over the phone and kind of show him what to change on the tune. And his tune initially did not have the operating system to run boost. It was still set up as 1-bar, so it could not read any boost. So we changed the operating system right here to a 2-bar, which normally this is populated with a couple different options, and we changed it over to 2-bar speed density, and he wrote that to the truck. And as soon as he did that, the main VE table turned into this, which is all one number and not good. So what I did actually is I took a compare file off of a different setup, which is from the Sloppy Mechanics wiki page, which is this just 80-pound injector tune, and I took this fuel map and I copied it, or I told him to copy it and then paste it into here. And what that did was got the truck running and driving pretty much beautifully. It ran a little rich at first, or it ran a little lean at first, I should say. So I made him add 15% to the whole entire table. So he took the whole table here like I'm doing and multiplied it by 15%, and then brought him to this. And now cruising around, pretty much anything out of boost was perfect. And then as soon as it came into boost, it started breaking up really bad. And I think the reason it broke up really bad is because this tune was set up to have like a fake boost cut right here at like 190 kPa. So what we're going to end up doing is probably just changing these numbers slightly on the next revision and switching them over so all this is gradual and smooth all the way up to 15 pounds or whatever he's running. So yeah, I kind of just guided him along through the tables and showed him what to change and told him what to change and why he's changing it and everything like that to make everything run happy. And he seems like he's pretty happy with the setup so far, and I'm really surprised how good it turned out just kind of talking him through it over the phone. I've thought about doing this remote tune setup before in the past, just because you can kind of get out to a more broad version of people and help more people out rather than, you know, somebody coming to Wisconsin, which we don't really have a whole lot of car people around here. But yeah, if anybody needs help with like HP tuners or making a base file or making a base tune for anything with HP tuners, so Ford, Chevy, Dodge, I think that's it, that does HP tuners, I will try to help out my best I can. So if you guys are interested in me helping you out at all, I will gladly do that. And if you have any questions with Honda tuning as well, I have way more experience with Hondas. I've been tuning Hondas for like 7 or 8 years now, with Chrome, Neptune, Honda, Hondata, and AEM. So if anybody has questions with that stuff too, I'm fairly seasoned in tuning those setups with Hondas. I just started tuning HP tuners like 2 years ago, but I have a very broad knowledge, or I have a very broad, I have a pretty broad, I don't know how the fuck to say this. I have a very broad, wide window of tuning pretty much anything. Yeah, if you guys are interested in that, you can always leave me a message on YouTube or comment on the video, or message me on Facebook to message the Hunter Tuned Facebook page as well, if you guys are interested in me kind of helping you out with tuning or making a build or whatever like that. I've been actually kind of busy with a few people that have wanted me to help them since I made my YouTube channel. I've kind of been like super busy with all this tuning and whatnot, so that's a good thing. I eventually want to open a shop and have a dyno and do all this as a professional business, but before this I had an electronic cigarette store that I opened and had it for about 2.5 years, and I really just got sick of it because I wasn't super passionate about it, and I just kind of wanted to move on to the next thing. So I quit that, sold the business, and I've just been kind of tuning cars on the side since then. I've taken a couple part-time jobs, but nothing's really struck my interest enough to put a lot of initiative into, because my end goal is to have Hunter tuned tuning in automotive. I would love to have a car shop and fix cars and tune cars and build performance vehicles. Yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy the video, and stay tuned for the next one. We will be getting the Mustang up and running and at the drag strip on Friday this week, so hopefully that all goes good. And thanks for watching the video, guys. I hope you appreciate the content I put out for you guys, and like the video if you like it, subscribe if you're new to the channel, share these videos if you have friends that are into cars or LS swaps or Hondas or turbos or just like going fast in general. This thing on 21 pounds of boost with the 11.5 air-fuel ratio is undescribably fast. Like, it is insane. It is the fastest thing I've ever fucking ridden in any of that. So yeah, it's definitely doing good, and I hope it all holds up and does good tomorrow. Honestly, if this car breaks into the 9s, I'm probably going to sell it, or park it and put a cage in it. I don't know if I really want to put a cage in it or go any faster than 9s, just because it gets extremely expensive after you get down to that level, I think, personally. So I'm probably just going to call her quits at high 9s and have a reliable 9-second street car.